Hey, it's Cyrus coming to you from my hidden office in the subfloors of the FoundryCast studios, and welcome back to the GM's chair. With all the responsibilities a game master have, the utmost is really running the game, moving the plot forward, getting to the interesting things, and sometimes that means exercising a greater level of control over what happens to move the plot along. Now, sometimes game masters can be accused of railroading. And what that is sort of a linear style of storytelling. Basically, from point A to point B, you're eliminating meaningful choices that the players could have to affect the world around them, and that's not what you're trying to do. So I'm going to suggest a few ways, a few gentler, more subtle ways to get the game back on track without resulting to downright railroading. And the first one is having invisible barriers. Well, not like you think. Instead of having them be solid, having them be a gradient. They get worse and worse as you go along. For example, remember all the games in the late 90s, early 2000s, where the player would run to the edge of the world and it was just a clear wall and you just couldn't go any further? That doesn't feel fair, does it? Later on, developers figured out that what you need to do is maybe put the world on a little island. And so once they go into the waters get rougher, they take more damage, they start to drown. So you'll want to go back to where all the good stuff is behind you. Same concept applies here. For example, if your party is in the woods, they're following a trail, and they decide for virtually no reason to cut through the darker part of the forest, that's when maybe they should run into more brambles and thorns, poisonous mushrooms, carnivorous plants. Make them feel hurt for going the wrong way. Make it more dangerous as they go, though. And so a simple survival check or intelligence check might remind the players it's probably best to go back the safer direction. Similar to that is what I like to call satellite enforcers. Having bands of nastiness that can intercept them along the way. This could be a roving pack of wolves, this could be dangerous river rapids, maybe the rivers and streams they had crossed before are now getting much more dangerous and they realize if they go any further they're going to have a lot more to encounter. Another one that's kind of fun is if you have evidence of a large stalking beast that's leaving tracks behind and it looks like it's crisscrossing through the woods as if it's caught the scent of the players and it's coming after them, and maybe they want to beeline it back to the trail behind. Another thing to do would be to remind them of their own goals. Why are they in this in the first place? You want to play on their emotions and play with their mind. Remind them why they're in this in the first place. Let me give you an example. The party finds a small village that was raided by orcs, and they could tell the orcs went back to their encampment to the west, but a few of the players want to travel further north to another village to inquire about the attack that happened on this village. And you know that's really just going to be a waste of time. They better get on with the orc hunting. But how do you do that? Well, what if one of the players saw a body of one of the fallen villagers and it reminded them very strongly of a family member of theirs? Kind of pulls on their heartstrings a little bit, right? One that I suggest that you use to get the game back on track, I like to call Deus Ex NPC. Now use this one very conservatively because after you use it more than once, the players will know what you're doing. It's a hard one to use as well, but it's very effective. Very, very, very effective when necessary. Let's say the NPC, it's somebody, if you don't know NPC, it's a non-playable character. Basically, it's a villager or a friend, just someone else in the world that talks to the player characters. Let's say there's a bartender that the party really likes. They go to see him all the time. He gives them advice. He gives them good ale. And they've struck up a friendship. So what if when they don't know what to do, the bartender downright asks them, hey, I know you guys are thinking of taking out that bandit group, but you know that evil Lord Baron to the north, he's causing a lot of problem for us here in the town, and you know I'd consider it a real favor if you would maybe see to that problem first. You know, honestly, the players might might see through your ruse, but in reality, they're just going to see a person that they care about, that they like, that they trust, asking them for real help, seeing how it affects other people instead of just how it affects them. So they will be much more likely to go the route you need them to go if someone within the game asks them for help. Another way to get back on track is to have a standard scenario in play that you could just drag and drop anywhere you need to. I like to think of a small ruined castle of some kind. Let's say the party goes down to the shoreline, and there's a dock town on one side where there's a small fortress that you sort of imply that they need to break into for some reason. But they decide to go the other way down the shore and just see what there is to see. Well, a couple miles down the way, they run across this crumbling old castle that's right there along the beach. It's made of sandstone and seashells, and it's just falling apart. So they start to explore, and they fight crab and lobster type monsters all over the place, and they do find a hidden treasure cache that looks like it's been hastily looted not too long ago. But you do find part of someone's backpack that had been ripped open and left behind, and inside is a small notebook with the night guard's notes, timetables and when they change their guard and weaknesses to the building. And now the party has a blueprint of exactly how they need to turn back around and head towards your plot. I also like to think of the rotating map. It's kind of like in the movie Labyrinth, where the girl's wandering around and everything keeps changing. It's not exactly like that, but if I prepare to have a dungeon in one direction, and maybe it's on the map, and the party decides to go the other way, who's to say they don't still run into the dungeon? They could have got lost in the woods, the map maker might have been confused, maybe the other dungeon was a lie that someone told them about and they stumbled upon the real one after all. You can always move things around within the world unless it's a previously written module, and you can make it work in your favor. And the last thing I would say, and this is one of the dirtiest tricks in the book, I shouldn't even be sharing it with you in case I ever need to drop it on some of my most recent players, but one of the best ways to get the game back on track is to steal your players' crap. That's right. In the middle of the night, no matter how much guard they have, no matter who's on watch, no matter what they roll, you're not trying to cheat them, but figure out a way to make it happen. When they wake up in the morning, certain items of theirs have been stolen. Maybe not all their gold, but geez, if you take someone's weapon, their +1 weapon with special enchantments, they're going to search the entire country to find the stuff that was stolen from them just to get it back, just to show those thieves who's boss. This is a really fun way to just sort of draw the attention from a completely lost party back the way you want them to go. And then, of course, you can build that into your storyline. These thieves were working for the evil Lord Baron. These thieves have been enchanted by the necromancer. These thieves are actually plotting to invade the dragon's hoard, and they just want to get some more weapons and items before they went inside. Anything you can do as a game master to get the game back on track without taking away the player's options, without making it feel as if they don't have choices, because they need to have choices. They need it so that their actions, or even inactions and accidents, do have an outcome on the world at large. Until next time, I'm Cyrus. Keep building, keep crafting, keep playing awesome games with your friends, and I'll see you again in the GM's chair.
Hey, if you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe, and to see more from us, check out our website at thefoundrycast.com, and you can also follow us on Twitter and Facebook. Thanks for watching.